Welcome to the deep woods in North Florida. I'm Randy.
Yeah, I'm Terry.
Hi, we're back. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk a little bit about, we got email. It wasn't actually a comment, it was a request via email. We do have an email address in the About section, and you're more than welcome to go find that, you know, and send us a request or speak to us personally, you know, whether I haven't posted online, you know. But Lily in Tallahassee spotted us grocery shopping one day.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, I thought I recognized you." I don't know if her voice actually sounds like that, but she did send us an email, and she wanted us to do a video on budgeting for Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know how you budget for Tallahassee. I think you got just about budget for everything. Okay, so, and I don't know exactly what she meant for, you know, by budgeting. I mean, are you talking about grocery budgeting, or are you talking about overall household budgeting? You know, so.
Well, we'll kind of go over both.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Tammy run with this. And she's going to talk to you a little bit about her grocery budgeting. And I really think you ought to go in depth into, you know, everything that's involved with your groceries. I mean, you know, you volunteer at the food bank, you know, twice a month. You know, I think you need to tell them a little bit about that, okay? Because a lot of that has to do with, you know, how it fits into our finances.
Yeah, and how we make it.
Yeah, and how we make it. So, go ahead and tell them. Yeah, we'll get into that, and then we'll jump into some of the other. But she usually stays within dollar amounts.
Yeah, I do. I you know, I had another comment about that I really shouldn't wait 6 months to do a bulk shop. But I find that it's easier for me, and I just save $50 in cash every month, and then I have $300. At the end of the 6 months, I have $300. Then I can take that, and then I can buy bulk flour and sugar and anything else, rice, anything bulk like that I need that's anywhere from $10 to $25. That way, I come home, I take care of it, I get it bagged up or jarred up or whatever I'm going to do with it, and it's done and it's put away, and I don't have to worry about buying any of those things for that length of time. And I usually do that at like Sam's, you know.
Yeah, but that's not going to be viable. I mean, I guess what I'm going to say is prices are going up so high, you're probably going to have to start shrinking that down.
Right, you know, and that's another thing. You know, the inflation rate is so high that, you know, maybe I should listen to her and go a little more often, just because the prices are rising so fast that, yeah, that's a whole different course. My grocery budget, my actual grocery budget, is around $75 a week for the two of us. You know, that's, for us, that's a pretty good, fair amount. Every 2 weeks, it's about $150, and that's just fresh veggies, milk. You know, I have a haul that I did last night, and Randy can link it up there somewhere. It's just simple stuff, you know, that you use ketchup, mayonnaise, a little Jello. I mean, it wasn't any kind of big haul, but it was still $151. And when I hit that $150, I quit. That's my budget for that 2 weeks. And like you said, I volunteer at our local food bank twice a month, which entitles me to, or not entitles me, because sometimes I leave without anything. You know, it just depends on how many shares they have that week. If there's any left, then we can take it, you know, the volunteers can take a share. And usually there's enough left that we can get a share. Sometimes not, but for the most part we do. And that helps a great deal, you know, because we get like 2 packs of meat twice a month. So that's 4 meals, or anywhere from 4 to 6 meals that I don't have to buy. That helps out a lot. So if y'all have a local food bank and you can go go. That's what they're there for. When it's so tight that you can't squeak, if you can get to a food bank, then go. I know the lines are long. We service over 100 families in our tiny, tiny little community. And nearly everybody in line is over 50. I mean, that's just the way it works. We're all on fixed or limited incomes, and that is a way to stretch your dollar as far as it can go.
Yeah, you want to tell them about my dad and his experience?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm going to tell you what, my dad, of course, I used to be a very proud man.
Yeah, we were.
And
yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay, and my dad is also, and it's hereditary, trust me.
Yeah.
He's a very proud man.
Yeah.
And he couldn't bring himself to do it. But Tammy actually probably knows more of what got him involved in actually going to a food bank, because he actually does go, I mean, they're
on fixed limited income.
And old.
Anyway, my father-in-law was so funny. I would tell him I was that I was going to the food bank, and he was like, I would never do that. I would never do that. Well, what happened was, if we had overage, like if they had a whole lot of something, then they would tell us, please take it, because they can't do anything with it. I mean, we only do
and then
the
give
food
it
bank.
to people that you know.
Yeah, give it to people that you know that need it. And, because it's only every 2 weeks, one day. So if they have overage of fresh produce or cheese or anything like that, they cannot hold it. It will not last or make it to the next available food bank day. So they would, if they had, and back then, that was like maybe 5 years ago I started volunteering. Anyway, I would take the overage down there to them. And he was like, you get this stuff? It's good stuff, I mean, we get really nice cheese sometimes. We get...
well, see, this is probably what got him, okay? Because they give out meat at times, right?
Right.
And so here he is. Tammy's bringing him meat, and it says Publix. It says Winn-Dixie.
Yeah.
It says Walmart. And he's going, well, that's where I shop.
Yeah, so... Anyway, now he's a fervent... He shows up. He shows up. And there's no shame in the game, I'm going to tell you. I mean, it really helps, And so, if you get the opportunity, go.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt my feelings, because when Tammy and I was raising the kids...
we would have never,
we couldn't even get food stamps back in those days, and we truly, absolutely, really needed them in order to feed all five of those kids.
We really could have used food stamps, and we didn't qualify.
But I owned a Chevy Cavalier.
And they told us we had equity in that thing. This was like 1989.
Yeah. Oh, it was
still paper stamps. They were still paper stamps. It wasn't EBT. It was paper stamps. But we didn't qualify because we had equity.
Yeah, it was paid for, but it was broke down, and the windows was all shot out with BB guns.
And I said, well, what if we sell it? Oh no, then you'd have to go to a hearing to explain why you let go of your equity. Well, I need to feed my kids. We still didn't qualify. Okay,
yeah.
So, and I would have never thought to went to a food bank anyway, because we always worked. I mean, we worked, and most food banks are during the day. And
I don't even, they didn't have food banks back then like they do now. The food banks back then was what you could get out of the church in a closet pantry.
In a closet pantry or something,
from canned goods that were donated that they could keep in store. But
the
food banks they got these days, you might as well just declare it grocery shopping.
Yeah, it's like grocery shopping. It really, truly is sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, there are times when it's pretty lean. Now, there's been months where it was really, really lean, and I didn't take a share. But, it all works and evens out.
And she does that because she doesn't want to feel like, she's taking advantage
feel like I'm
of it.
taking
And I don't either, because she's gone all day. You know, so she'll leave out of here 8 o'clock in the morning. She'll get back at noon, and then they call her, and the truck's coming, and she's got to run and go help unload the truck.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. I mean, that's what we do. That's how we justify her being, you know, going up there and taking anything from it. And, you know, we wouldn't hold it against anybody to go into a food bank, you know.
Especially if you're our age, don't go.
Yeah, you know, old, gray, no hair. See that?
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. I just had some brain farts and had to express myself.
Yeah, well, that was it. I mean, that's pretty much how we budget. You know,
she gets X amount of dollars, and if she can supplement or fill, you know, the freezer and do what she does on that $300, that's good. Sometimes it's, you know, she can't do anything more, and then other times, you know, she's overloaded. $300 is $300.
Yep, that's it. Now I don't know now. I mean, you know, I'm due to go. I mean, I actually was due in January to go, but I really don't need anything. I mean, my buckets are full, and I don't, you know, but it keeps rising and rising. I think I may have to go buy me some more, take some of that money that's supposed to buy stuff and buy buckets to put in, because it's just getting worse.
Yeah, you know? It is. And you struck a chord in my memory banks.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, you know, it's like the $300 a month. When we first came out here, we was doing it on $200 with no food banks.
Yeah.
Or anything. Anything at all. Tammy, you know, her pantry, you know, of course, if you guys watched a lot of the other videos, a lot of them you can't see unless you become a member of the site, because I put all those in the membership area for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah, because they're not that great. They're not that great videos. They're, you know, we were just learning how to do YouTube. And
but they do have the rest of the story.
Yeah, they do have the story. Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, should the $300 not be sufficient, we would probably be resorting to the way that we did our shopping when we first moved out here. Yeah. You remember? I mean, when we go to the store, we take $50 to the store.
Yeah.
And then we would, I would look at the steaks, but I could not buy them.
No.
Okay? And, but we would go like up to the Food Giant. They had what was called Super Saver Wednesday.
Yeah, we'd go grocery store on Wednesday because they had Super Saver Wednesday, and they have on the side of their sale paper, they would have one day only sale, and those were usually really good. Like you could get, you know, back then you could get like 20 pounds of bacon for like $14.99 or something in the bulk when they were $3 or $4 a pack, even back then. So we would get the big pack of bacon and put it in, you know, and I would divide it up and put it in the freezer, and then the next week they would have like chicken for 39 cents a pound or something.
But we would definitely be loading up on the chicken. Oh, and they had the hamburger. How much was hamburger back then?
Oh, hamburger, those 10-pound rolls was like
$1.99?
$1.99 a pound or $1.89 a pound, something like that.
Something like that.
But that's how we did it. I mean, it was tough.
What about the pork steaks? Cube pork steaks. You know how you got Swiss steak, right? We couldn't afford Swiss steak.
Yeah, no.
But they had pork steaks.
Yeah, they had the cubed pork steaks, which would be like cubed steak. But
Tammy fried them up, and them suckers was good.
Yeah, they are. They're good, and they were half the price of regular, you know, beef cube steak.
You know, if you're really broke, I mean, there's ways to do it. You go walk through that store and you find, you know, you start looking for the cheapest meat they got, and by golly, you'll learn to love it.
We like Mexican flavored foods, and they had chorizo, which is still really, really, really cheap. They have little tubes.
Yeah, we found
chorizo.
that too.
And back then they were like 99. Excuse me, they were like 99 cents. Now I think they're like right at $2, but they're still really, really inexpensive. And you can take those and scramble them up in eggs, or make omelets, or, you know, mix them up in potatoes. I mean, you can make that chorizo go a long, you can feed a lot of people with that one tiny little tube of chorizo. I'm not kidding, because I've done it. And, you know, sausage is another one. You know, you can take a pound of sausage and a half, you know, cut that in half, use one half for one meal and one half for another. Just make something different, and they don't, you know, he don't care. He don't care. As long as it tastes different than the night before, he don't care.
I really don't care. I've, you know, I mean, before we came out here, you know,
We were pretty picky back then.
oh yeah, I was real picky. I mean, I made a ton of money.
Yeah.
I could stop by the steak store and pick up a ribeye anytime I wanted.
Anytime he wanted.
And every weekend when I headed to the boat, I stopped off by the store and I got the thickest ribeyes I could get out of the cabinet, or had them cut them, and we'd go down there and throw them on the grill and get out on the deck of the boat or up in the pavilion and eat. I mean, it was like,
yeah, we didn't care. We had plenty of money, we didn't care.
yeah.
Yeah, it ain't like that no more.
No, you know what? And the thing with this, you know, I just want to make this statement. Okay, even though, you know, we can't eat like that anymore, or we don't have that kind of cash flow anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that I absolutely, thoroughly, 100% am committed to, you know, this outdoor adventure that we're on.
Yeah, I mean, we moved out here on purpose. We did this on purpose.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I was tired, and he was tired, and we said we just. Yeah.
I had two, three decades of busting my tail.
Yeah.
To make a mark in the world.
Yeah.
To have the magic wand thrown out into the oceans and abroad.
Yeah, so we said, I'm done. We're done. We're done. Kids are grown, you know.
The kids are grown and gone.
You know, my grandson's grown and gone. I'm done. I am done.
Well, let's talk about another budgeting aspect. Okay? Let's go back in time. Let's go to budgeting ghosts of the past. Okay. When Tammy and I first got together, of course, we had all those children.
Yeah, we had kids.
We had all those children. And we had a single wide trailer, and we had all, well, initially it was 4. 2 on the top bunk, 2 on the bottom, 4x6 bedroom. But I guess, you know, what I'm getting at, I just wanted to let you know, you know, I mean, back in those days, it was rough for us then.
Yeah, that was the early 80s.
Yeah, and everything operated on checks. I don't even think they invented debit cards back then.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, you had credit cards, but you didn't have debit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. We'd kite them checks. We'd write them and mail them and make sure and make sure that the money hit the bank before they got the check.
Yes, we did.
It was so
tight. You know, I'd get paid on Friday, so like at the beginning of the week, Tammy'd be asking me for checks. And she wanted me to write her a $15 check every day that she could take down and go to the store with. And that was...
Yeah, it was bad. So,
I mean, $15 a day. You got to understand, back in late 80s, 85, 86.
86.
No, we got married in 88. Okay.
Right. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. We were together a couple years before that.
Yeah. Anyway.
I forgot about those years.
He would, you know, I would, you know, because he had the checkbook. And that was a good thing, because he can make pennies scream, okay? And I really can't. I'm not.
She's like kids were. She goes into a store. Now, she wasn't. Now.
I wasn't back then either. I mean, it wasn't that I was like buying things that I was buying things we didn't need. Okay,
5 candy bars.
I was buying 5 candy bars and 5
ice cream
cones. Or ice cream cones or something for the kids. Okay, it wasn't that I was, but
let me tell you this.
It was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. We had to distract the kids while she snuck out the back door.
To go to the store.
Because
if they went with me,
Oh,
my
God,
bill
it was
would be
a-
double. My
it-
bill would be double.
It was a
And
screaming, crying match.
So,
And Tammy did not have the heart to turn them down.
yeah, I couldn't turn them down.
Anything
you
to
know.
shut them up.
Yeah,
But no, honestly, you know, with the daily things that we needed, like milk and bread
Right.
and cereal and stuff like that, it was $15 every day.
Yeah, 4 or 5 kids, it was a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter. Well, the jar of peanut butter might last 2-3 days tops, a couple of jellies. I mean, this was every day.
At a junior store in the middle, back over there, it's not Deep Woods anymore. It used to be.
Yeah, it used to be Deep Woods over there too. But
Yeah, but it was a store out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we didn't have a Winn-Dixie, we didn't have Publix, we didn't have Walmart.
Nothing out here.
We had a Hoggly Woggly. Okay, yeah. And so, I mean, really, if you wanted to go real grocery shopping, we had the local IGA.
We had one IGA, or you had to go to Tallahassee. That was it.
That was it. And so, but the $15 a day was killing us. And let's get to that. Okay? If you guys are still listening, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Subscribe, like, share. You can go down below, buy us a cup of coffee. You know, we do need your support. And, you know, and that is one way to do it. I know a lot of people don't like to, you know, give you a thanks or contribute through YouTube because they know that they, you know, YouTube's not a real caring platform.
Yeah.
But you can go down below, buy a coffee. They take 5% and it's done. So
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. All right, let's move on. But the check thing.
Yeah.
So Tammy is asking for a check every single day. And then one day she said, I was walking out the door. I was avoiding.
He thought.
Yeah, I was avoiding the calling for a check, right? And so she asked me for a check. And can I get the check? And I said, nope.
Nope. He said no.
Nope. No, we were broke. I mean, we couldn't get ahead.
Yeah.
$15 a day checks and being behind and trying to cover them, and then the overdraft charges. All of that was killing us. Even back then, the overdraft charge was $20.
Oh, 15.
15.
It was still too much.
It's still too much. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, I sat down, and you know, I was in civil engineering at that time, and I had access to a lot of halfway decent software. So what I did is I took Excel, and I built an Excel spreadsheet. And I took that and I did all the formulas that you needed to do to add and subtract and to put numbers in there. And I created a calendar for the year. And I took all my paychecks. I got paid a certain amount every 2 weeks, even though I didn't get paid for half the time I worked. All right. So, so I would plug that amount into. And I went through the calendar and I picked all the paydays that I had, the 1st and the 15th, and it was every 2 weeks, and I plugged in those amounts, and then I went in behind and I created the items in our budget. Okay, and what I did is it was all the necessity things. All her bad habits, all my bad habits, all the groceries, how much we would spend or budget for groceries at that time, and you know, gasoline to drive back and forth and work. I knew how much that cost me. I knew how much I was putting in there every day, and so I plugged that all in, and all I had to do was put in a number in one column. All right, and then it would work out the budget for the entire year. And so I printed that all off and I took it back home and I showed it to Tammy. And so, you know, it took, about another, I was going to say, you know, because you get so far behind, a month can put you so far behind, you know, that it took probably about 6 months. And sticking to that budget. And every time you spent some money and every time you added an expense, you had to plug that in too.
Plug it in.
And then it would adjust all the numbers on the Excel spreadsheet. She didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
She didn't like it because she had to have that check every day.
But,
And I don't think I gave her one.
no.
I did, and she was not happy.
Yeah, but it worked out because we
finally got ahead a month.
We got ahead, and
by the last week of every single month, we had enough money in there to pay the next month's bill.
yeah. So we weren't struggling trying to catch up all the time. You know, we were ahead. So then if you had an emergency and something came up and you had to have, then you still weren't so, you could work with that.
Yeah, and once you get ahead and once you get a grip on, on what you are spending and on what, you can, and you're a month ahead or so, you can kind of breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do have an extra expenditure there, then you tighten up over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't rocket science, okay? They were Excel spreadsheets, and they did give you real numbers. Of course, I devised the spreadsheet, so but it worked.
It worked.
It did work, and then eventually through my career, I started making more money, and we got farther and farther ahead, and
yeah, I kept progressing.
Yeah, she did. She actually ended up going to work. I mean, she waited on tables when we were younger, and then she went to work for Lance, and then she got up into like making $30,000 or $40,000, and I was making 60 or 80, and as in civil engineering project manager. Back in those days, I was halfway decent, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
That was good money then.
Yeah. But, so we just, everything snowballed to the point where, we were doing so well that, money wasn't
that big a deal.
It wasn't an issue. Yeah. Tammy would look at me and she said, I don't care as long as the money's there.
Yeah.
Debit card went flying around everywhere.
Well,
no, I'm not.
He spent more money than I did back then. You know, we had to have that boat. We had to have 2 boats. It was. But he did have a love of the water. We did.
What'd you say? Oh, I have a love of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we had that 34-foot Silverton sitting out there on the side of the river, I'd be sitting in that chair. What would I say? If I could only find a way that I could work on the water.
Oh, you had to work on the water, yeah.
I would be one with the amoeba, right?
Yeah.
And I still love it. I got my crab boat over here. We got the commercial license before we went under. You got to.
I know, there's bugs flying everywhere. It's
How come
February.
they landed on your face?
It's February. We already got bugs.
Crickets were out last night.
Yeah, or cicadas.
Or cicada, whatever.
We could hear them. Or cicadas, however you say it.
Cicadas.
They were out everywhere.
Yeah, they were making a lot of noise last night. That was great, wasn't it? I don't know if you go back and watch the grocery haul video, you might hear them faintly in the background. They're not like dominating yet, but they're there. And springtime's coming. That's all there is to it. So after, let's get back to budgeting. Okay, so we talked a little bit about budgeting and the food and everything that we do now, and we talked about past, and then, there was a time in our life we didn't have to worry about budgeting.
Right.
Okay, and probably about, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, 10, 15 years we didn't have to worry about budgeting, but during the Great Recession, things had to change. Okay, there was a lot of things we spent a lot of money on. We had cell phones for all the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, $400 a month.
Yeah, $400 a month in cell phone bills, $200 a month for TV for our grandson.
Yeah.
And we watched 2 channels because I wouldn't let him watch anything else. It's crazy stuff. Just.
No, well, we had how many? We had the 1, 2, 3.
4 vehicles.
burning $200-300 a week in gas.
Yeah.
My truck burned $400 worth of diesel at $1.99.
Just running around doing estimates.
Just running around doing estimates, you know. And then Rick would drive my red truck. Y'all see the condition of that red truck, right? That red truck is what's left over after an 18-year-old got done with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've had that truck a long time. He's 34 now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's grown. He got kids of his own now.
Yeah, so, but you know, when you're talking about budgeting, you're talking about where you need to trim your funds. First thing you need to do, and Tammy and I sat down at the table, okay, at home, and we both, well, we had to figure out where to go, and she couldn't figure out where to cut, because we had to have TV, we had to have cell phones, we had to have vehicles, but she wasn't thinking budget.
Right.
So we figured out, and we held on to all that as long as we could. And then when we came out here,
we left it all.
We left it all, and I mean, it was an instantaneous, what do you want to call that? Redirection.
Yeah, we had Verizon, actual Verizon, for years upon years upon years, because they bought out the company that we had for years and years.
US Cellular.
US Cellular.
Oh, I love
really
US Cellular.
They were good.
They were good to us.
Verizon took over, and our bills just skyrocketed, right? And their phones were extremely expensive. So you would put your phones on the plan. Well, we had 2 kids and us on the plans, right? So it was $400 or $500. And back then, you didn't. The more you talked on your phone, the more your bill was. Well, Randy was running his business off of that phone, and he would have thousands of hours on his phone. I mean, we've had up to $800 in phone bills, okay? And cell phone bills.
Yeah.
When I got done, they came out with Straight Talk, right? So that was in I guess the early 2000s or early 2000s. Anyway, my son came home and was telling us about his cell phone plan, and it was $50 a month, and he had unlimited talk and text. And we were like, So I called Verizon. I said, well, why can't you do this? They're using your towers. Straight Talk uses Verizon towers, but I'm paying $500-600 a month. And he's like, well, we can't do anything about it. And I said, well, I can. I said, you can cancel my service. He said, you still owe the amount on one phone.
We had a contract because we was paying on the phones, right? We just which finger do you want me to point at you?
Right, we only had one phone left on there, and they said we owed $100 on that phone. Okay, and I'm like, okay.
Screw you.
We're
done.
$50 a month, and I'm down to $150, but I'm paying you $4. Go ahead and take your money for that phone and next month's bill, and I'm out of here. I saved money right off rip.
Yeah.
Just by paying off that phone and getting out, You just gotta figure out where you can cut, what you can cut, and their cell phone carriers now, we only pay $25 a month for Visible.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll put a link down below in case you want to get there. $20 a month right now for the next 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years it's $20.
You sign up, I can put a link down below, and you can go sign up for Visible. Unlimited talk, text, and hotspot. That's what we operate on here.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to do any live streaming or anything like that, but you can watch unbuffered. We get unbuffered television.
Yeah, we don't pay for
But you got to be careful about what phone you got. You got to have it like a Samsung, or you got to have like a Motorola. All right, you can't have any other cheap cell phone, off-brand cell phone.
Or iPhone. I mean, you can have
or
any.
an iPhone.
You got to have a good phone. that we don't pay for any cable or anything like that. We stream everything off of our, off the hotspot, off the phone, goes right to the TV.
Yeah. Well, we got two phones, 2 hotspots.
Yeah, 2 phones, 2 hotspots, $50 a month.
One for the TV, one for the computer.
Yeah.
And it takes me probably about 2.5 hours to download a 3 gig file.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's another budgeting item right there, is that them cell phone bills.
Cell phone bills.
So when I told my dad, says, oh, why do I want to go to Visible? And he's paying $50 a month for his internet, and he's paying $20 a month for each of their phones, so there's 2 of them.
Right.
So he didn't take into consideration that
Right.
my cell phone service is cheaper. I'm only paying $20 a month.
Yeah, but you're paying $50
But you're
a
paying
month.
$50 a month for that internet.
Internet service.
So you're $90 a month. I said, me and Tammy paying $50 a month, and we got
You got
both.
it all.
I hope you guys got an idea. You got to cut expenses when you don't need them. They're not necessities.
Yeah.
Satellite television,
It's not a necessity.
not a necessity. You get you a smart TV, you get you a visible phone, you got unlimited hotspot, you hook the Wi-Fi up TV, you can watch anything you want to on demand. You can actually subscribe to Netflix and Tubi and all that.
All that right off your phone.
Right off your cell phone. $25 a month.
Well, plus the services. I mean, they're going to charge you,
Plus the streaming services, yeah. But you can, you can take this. We don't have a want or need for television.
Yeah, no.
Plus we have the antenna, and we can get the free HD TV broadcasted from Tallahassee. So you can get all your network shows.
Yeah.
But we don't even watch that.
Yeah. No,
So
not
anyway,
much.
we're not much, So I hope you got some ideas. I hope you kind of figure out where you got to cut some fat.
Yeah.
And then move on. Figure out what you need, when you need it. Budget it in your little Excel spreadsheet, and you'll be good to go. We're out of here, guys. That's enough.
Yeah.
Bam.
Bye.
You need any more advice? Leave a comment below.